Hi, I'm Lady T. Remember me? From the Morning Dew Show. Now listen, I have a brand new show, The Lady T Show. It's going to be airing second and fourth Sundays right here on WIG TV at 6:30 p.m. Not just your ordinary talk show, but a talk show to help you find the ministry in life's issues. I'm excited and I know you are, so join me second and fourth Sundays right here on WIG TV at 6:30 p.m. Hi, and welcome to the Lady T Show. Thank you for joining me today, and we have an awesome show planned for you as usual. Today was an awesome day, and it's an amazing day, and you know why? Because I choose for it to be that way. Always remember, it's your choice. However you want your day to turn out, just say, this is the day the Lord has made, and I'm determined it's going to be an awesome and amazing day. I want to say to Vita Johnson, we were supposed to play her commercial, but my engineers are still trying to format the commercial for Wonder Fiber Massage. In case you remember, in case you don't remember, Vita was here a few months ago, and her mother made this solution that is good for aches and pains and joint stiffness. Wonderful solution. Vita has an opportunity to have that solution sold in Walmart stores. So we're asking that you would keep her in your prayers. And Vita, we're working on that commercial, girl. And we're going to try to get it planned for the Lady T Show. My guest today, seated next to me, we're going to get right to him. But this is an awesome and exciting show. And I want you to call your family members and friends and let them know that they need to tune in today. Because if you've heard of that saying that says, got milk, well, today my topic is got credit. And we're talking about credit and credit scores, which is something that is very important in today's society. Here seated next to me is Mr. Thomas Yates, and he is the founder and president of Boost Credit Scores, LLC. So I want you to call your neighbors, your friends, your family members. It doesn't matter what age. I want you to call everybody. You can catch us on Suddenlink 17, Greenlight 19, Over the Air 31, I believe that's satellite. Also Crystal BRD 19 and Prism 31. Now, you know Lady T always blesses somebody with something. So Mr. Yates is going to bless somebody today with a free credit analysis just for somebody out there in our viewing audience. So we're going to let you know how you can win that free credit analysis in just a little while. There's a number on your screen, and we're going to give you an opportunity to call in to talk with Mr. Yates. So make sure you use that number on the screen if you have any questions or concerns about tonight's topic. So let me get started. Can I call you Thomas?
Sure.
I can call you Thomas. Okay, well, thanks for coming to the Lady T Show.
Thank you, Lady
And
T.
I'm so excited because my show, I like to use it as a platform to help others out in the community. So today we're talking about credit restoration, credit scores, and anything involving credit that you need to know. So tell us, first of all, a little bit about Boost Credit Scores, LLC.
Sure. Thank you again, Lady T, for having me. Boost Credit Score is a credit restoration company that was formed by me in 2007.
Oh, wow.
I was once plagued with bad credit myself, and I decided to do something about it.
Okay.
And so it's not always about making a lot of money. You still need the credit sometimes. So forming that company back in 2007, we do financial education,
okay,
just as well as credit restoration.
Okay. And that's important. Like I heard you say, people don't feel like they need good credit nowadays. They feel like if I have cash, I don't need credit for anything. I can just pay cash. But in case you didn't know, almost 40 million Americans have bad credit, and that is a lot of people. So we want to talk about credit scores and credit analysis and credit reports. So tell us, what can you tell us about all of this?
Yes, when you're dealing with credit scores, when you're dealing with the credit bureaus, Experian, there are three major credit bureaus: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, and they really monitor certain parts of the country.
Okay.
Experian monitors the West Coast.
Okay.
Equifax pretty much governs the East Coast, and TransUnion governs out toward Texas.
Wow.
So a lot of us are really not familiar of what bureaus that these bankers are pulling.
Right.
So it's very imperative that we try to keep all of your scores in a fair status. Bankers really go off of scores, and it tells them your credit worthiness.
Okay.
It tells them whether or not your scores, if it ranges from 300 to 900. So if your scores are pretty much below 600, you're either going to pay very high interest rates, or you're going to pretty much get turned down, or you will need a lot of money down as collateral. So we thrive on educating our customers on how to maintain a high score.
Okay.
And so it doesn't matter if you're 18 years old or 70 years old. We
Right,
all
right.
need it.
Right, right. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, this is the Lady T Show, and we're talking about credit today. Credit scores, credit repair. We're talking about a little bit of all of that, and Mr. Thomas Yates of Boost Credit Scores is here. You see the number there at the bottom of your screen if you have any questions for him. We have a short amount of time that we're dealing with, but we want you to call in and talk with him. So tell us how credit will affect people.
Yeah, well, if you today, for example, are going out trying to buy a car and you got a poor credit score. Now, the public might not know what's a poor credit score. Anything pretty much below a score of 620 is considered a poor credit score.
Wow.
So if you going out today and try to purchase a car or any personal loans with that type of score, you're more than likely are going to get turned down or pay higher interest rates.
Okay.
So that's how credit affects you. Now, if your score is pretty much over 620 and higher, then you can pretty much get a lower interest rate.
Right, and I think we got a call. Welcome to the Lady T Show. Thank you so much for calling. You had a question for Mr. Yates?
I surely do.
Okay, go right ahead.
Well, I had a pretty good credit score. I thought it was pretty good. It was like something. But unexpected illness I received, and thank God I'm over all of that now. But anyway, I didn't have any health insurance. So that put, these medical bills.
Right.
Now, I'm paying like a little tiny bit, but of course, what they want me to pay, and they're sending my stuff to the credit, to the credit people. Now, what can I do?
Well, that's a good question. Pretty much, most people pretty much put their credit on the back burner when they find out they can't do anything. But actually, your credit will not change until you do something about it. So, based on what I'm hearing from you, you pretty much can raise your scores, and then this will allow you to get lower insurance rates. So if you're out looking for some type of health insurance, if you have a high credit score, then you can pay a low premium on your health insurance, even your auto insurance. And a lot of the public is not aware of that. So if you have low credit scores and you're trying to apply for these insurances,
That's true.
then more likely you're going to get turned down, or you're going to pay more premium per month.
Well, someone was telling me that, like, if you claim bankruptcy, since I'm getting older, if you claim bankruptcy, since, I have my own home and all that, they say, well, that's a good way to, and I don't know, because I just don't like, that just don't sound good.
Well, there is life after bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is not so bad. I think a lot of times people don't know what direction to go in when it comes to getting information or counsel on bankruptcy. But there are several types of bankruptcy, a 7 or 13. We do a free consultation, which we could pretty much tell you if you need to file bankruptcy or not, and if you do, we'll refer you to a bankruptcy attorney. But
I'm gonna keep listening so I can get that phone number.
Yeah, so we try to prevent the bankruptcy if we don't have to. I've seen some lawyers instruct customers to file bankruptcy and their total debt was less than $10,000. To me, that wasn't good advice from the attorney for that individual to file bankruptcy when they only had about $5,000 of debt. So you really need to get some counseling before you do any type of bankruptcy. And we do offer all of that.
That's some very valuable information that you all are doing. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I got your number. We're going to be in contact with you.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Wow, that is really a tough situation.
Yeah.
And that's, a lot of people probably are dealing with that, mounting medical bills. And so the information you gave her, very valuable information. We want you to stay with us. We're going to give you contact information to get in contact with Thomas Yates. Now, you were talking about credit reports. How accurate are credit reports?
And that's a good question, Lady T. A lot of times your credit reports doesn't always mean that it's accurate information reporting to the credit bureau, especially for those who have gotten married and changed their last names, or if you're moving from state to state, or even your employers could not even take off your previous employers. So a lot of information could be inaccurate on most people's credit file.
Wow.
But without monitoring your credit, you would never know this until you attempt to go out and try to get a loan, and pretty much probably going to be declined, and then that's when people really start taking the credit serious. But so there's various factors out there that can really affect your credit.
Right, and so this is something that your company does with credit and credit reports, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, wonderful. Boost Credit Scores LLC at your service. You can call in now using the number at the bottom of your screen and talk to Mr. Yates about your credit and your credit score. You don't have to give us your name or phone number, but if you have a question that you want to ask him, then you can do that. So is there anything else you want to add about credit scores and credit?
Yeah, I'd just like to say also, Lady T, that Boost Credit Scores is unlike most credit restoration companies. A lot of credit restoration companies want to try to pretty much get you in the program, but you never really can talk to anyone personally. We do hands-on, step-by-step. We do monthly monitoring, email alerts, text messaging. We're constantly updating and progressing our customer, letting them know the progress of their status. So we also deal with banks. We'll refer banks for you to deal with. So a lot of our customers have checking and savings accounts but can't borrow any money from those banks. So we'll refer the bank for you to go to where you can go in and get a signature loan, a personal loan, or even a line of credit. So we teach you these things once your scores get high. So we kind of work with you all the way through the progress.
Right. And I don't want anybody out there, Thomas, to feel like, well, my credit score is so low, it's no need for me to do anything else. Or like I heard a comedian say, there's no more room on my credit report. So, but I don't want you to feel like that. You know, there is hope, you know?
Yeah, and that's true, Lady T. When you do nothing, nothing changes.
Right.
But we haven't seen anyone yet that we have not been able to help.
Wow.
People have come into our office with scores as low as 400, even in the 300s. And I will say, you're pretty much stagnated with those low scores. But once you start doing the cleanup process, that we have a 3-step process that we use, and once we start that process, it's pretty much going to clean up all 3 of your files, and this will allow your scores to start going up. And then we also add lines of credit, which is called revolving accounts. And most revolving accounts are pretty much credit cards. But we teach you how to use the credit cards. Most people are fearful of credit cards. Without credit cards, you won't have a high score. So you got to have revolving credit. But you need to, the best use of most credit cards, I always tell our customers, the best use of a credit card is really no use at all.
Wow.
But you do need them in order to maintain high scores.
Right, and see, people don't know that. You just said you need to have a credit card.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
That is awesome. See, we're learning things that we did not know today. But one other thing I want to ask you, some people don't know that, well, I didn't know it, but a lot of people don't know that if you have no credit, that's really not a good thing either, if you have no credit.
Right, and to a lender or a creditor, it's still bad credit.
Okay.
Bankers and lenders are looking for credit worthiness. They're looking for who you're paying or who you have paid. Now, if you have credit that's already paid out and closed and you don't have any open credit, more likely you probably will still get declined because lenders want to see who you're paying now. So we don't advise you to go out and get in debt just to try to get credit. That's why it's so important to have open revolving accounts such as department store cards, credit cards. These cards don't have to be used, but they're open, and now the lender sees you with open credit. Right. So it allows you to be able to go out and start getting loans. What we do is pretty much go out and get personal loans, which is auto loans, student loans, mortgages. These are called installments, and installments don't raise your scores. So there's two things you need to understand when you're dealing with the credit bureaus. There's a revolving accounts and there are installment accounts. And installments are 4 items: mortgages, auto loans, student loans, and personal loans. And unfortunately, none of these raise your scores.
Wow, did you all hear that? None of those will raise your scores. And see, these are things that people don't realize, because they feel like, oh, if I go get a car and I just pay on time, it'll raise my score.
Yeah, and we were taught that. We were taught to go out and establish you some credit, and the first thing we do is get a 30-day a personal loan that you do every 30 days.
Wow. Thank you for calling the Lady T Show. Okay, I think I missed that. Hello, thank you for calling the Lady T Show.
Hello, Lady T. We would like to ask your guest, what would we do to start increasing like a credit score or something?
Well, that's a good question. And the first thing you want to do is first monitor your credit. You need to know where you stand on all 3 of your credit reports. So if you're over 18, pretty much you establish some credit in the credit bureau by now. So you want to monitor your credit, see where your scores are coming in at, and from that point on, if you're 18 years old and you really don't have any credit, or if you're a young person with no credit, you pretty much just want to go out and maybe get maybe a credit card, or you can piggyback off of a parent or someone like that, or a spouse. You can piggyback off of one of their cards. Hello, did you hear me?
Thanks, yeah, I appreciate it.
You're welcome, thank you.
All right.
Now I want to remind my viewers that Mr. Yates is here and he has a service for you. He has a company, Boost Credit Scores LLC, and we want to give you some contact information that you can use to contact him, because this is what he does. He helps people to raise their credit scores, and he also teaches them how to keep those scores up. So we want to help you, especially with the housing market. A lot of people are trying to get houses nowadays.
Definitely.
You've got to have those credit scores where they need to be in order to qualify. And I like the way you went on and targeted our young, the 18 and up, and even younger than that. You should know about credit and credit scores and how important it is, because I think when they reach a certain age, they start getting offers in the mail.
Exactly.
Credit cards, and you don't want to start off on a bad trail with your credit. So this is very important for you as well. So give them that contact information that they can use to get in contact with you.
Sure. The name of our company is Boost Credit Scores LLC. We're located at 223 Sparrow Lane, Henderson, North Carolina, 27537. Also, our contact number is 252-572-2235. Our business hours are Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. And I also put my sale out there. 252-767-3500 is my sale. We do have an email address at boostcreditscoresllc@yahoo.com. So we do a free consultation for those who are interested. You give us a call, we'll send you to a site, set up a free monitoring, and from that point we can start the free consultation, and we'll be able to see all 3 of your scores, all 3 of your credit reports, and pretty much start guiding you from there on what your goals are.
Wow, so you've got to take the first step, and you've got to care enough about your situation to do something about it. You've got to, as my pastor says, you've got to put some feet to your faith.
That's it.
And do something about it. Now, people will have asked me before, Thomas, should I just go ahead and pay off everything?
That's a good question, Lady T, and I would not recommend you paying anyone before you do the consultation. We've had customers say, well, should I go ahead and settle all these and then just let you raise my score? Well, with our three-step process, we actually can remove a lot of the negative items that you were going to try to pay.
Wow.
So we wouldn't recommend that you go out trying to pay off anything first, because you do have the right to dispute anything that you believe that is inaccurate or unverifiable or incomplete on your credit file. So therefore, let us do the cleanup process before we start trying to pay off anyone. We will assist you in settlements. We are licensed with FTC, Federal Trade Commission. So we assist you in the settlements. but we try to save you much money as possible without having to settle beforehand.
Right. So you're licensed. So he said he's licensed. So he's not bootleg and he's not makeshift. He is actual. This is the real deal here. And you know, people will pull their credit report and then they'll look at it and they say, I'm just going to go ahead and start paying off all of these things. But like you said, you don't want to do that. The first step is to contact Mr. Thomas Yates at Boost Credit Scores LLC. And as I stated before, we're going to be giving away a free credit analysis in just a little while, and we want you to have an opportunity to win that free credit analysis. The number there at the bottom of your screen, you can call us, call in, talk to Mr. Yates if you have a question, if you have a specific situation that you want him to address, then we want you to use that number at the bottom of your screen. So give us a worst case scenario of someone that may have come to you and their credit score was really, really low. How long did it take? How long was the process?
Yeah, and that's a good question too, Lady T. When you're doing credit restoration, you may ruin your credit in 2 to 3 years, but it's not an overnight process to restore credit. And the reason why, you're dealing with the credit bureaus, and they only disperse out information every 30 to 45 days. Wow. So just the cleanup process itself could take anywhere from 90 to 120 days.
Okay.
But we go further than that, and most of your credit repair companies, they pretty much just do what we call a disputing. That's called a cleanup process, but we actually add lines of credit to your file. And so after we clean you up, we're going to give you some lines of credit that will be positive lines that will actually raise your scores and allow you to go out to, you will have buying power.
Wow, that is awesome. And I hate that we're almost running out of time here, but we have about 1 minute left. If you have a question for Mr. Yates, I think I missed a couple of calls, but if you have a question for him, use that number at the bottom of your screen. Call in, ask him your question. You got about a minute and a half to talk to him. But we are educating the community, and he's here to help you. He wants to help you. Don't feel like it's no hope and you're just out of luck, but he's here to help you. And you did mention that you have helped people with credit scores as low as in the 300s.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. We haven't seen anyone yet, Lady T, that we have not been able to help. So the only time that you really are hindering yourself when you do nothing about it. I was plagued with bad credit, made a lot of money, but couldn't buy what I wanted to buy. So one thing I learned, I got my credit fixed, because money does not always get you what you want unless you can pay cash for it. So credit is the way in the economy we live in today. You're not really judged on your salary. You're really judged on your credit. So you want to make sure that your credit scores, it helps you get lower insurance premiums, as we talked about earlier. It helps you even on health insurance. A lot of companies are checking credit for employment. So even when you go out to apply for jobs, they're checking your credit. And it's really a must that we take this serious.
Right. And an $80,000 a year salary with bad credit is a bad combination.
Oh, yes, it is.
Not gonna, and I want to say this, I probably don't have anything to do with anything, but y'all know Lady T. But, you know, I know sometimes I ride through the neighborhoods, low-income neighborhoods, as they call them, and I see things like Porsches and Lamborghinis.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm wondering, how in the world... You know,
and you know, we see that a lot of times we'll pay more for our automobiles than we will our homes. But one thing you got to understand, if you got a high credit score, then you can have that Porsche with a low payment or a low interest rate. Right. But you know, when you kind of your car costs more than a house, then that's another story. But we always want to emphasize here, we want to educate you on financial planning. We want to educate you on how important credit is. And it's not taught in a public setting. Right. And it's not ever going to be taught in a public setting because it's $1 billion industry. Wow. So you're paying for what you don't know. Wow.
And we are out of time. Thank you so much, Thomas. I appreciate you coming. But we're going to give you a chance to win that free credit analysis. All you have to do is be the 7th caller. And my studio, and there it is. Thank you, Lee. Call that number, be the 7th caller, and you will be the winner of the free credit analysis. That number is there at the bottom of your screen, 252-567-8331. That's 252-567-8331. Be the 7th caller. You will be the winner of the free credit analysis. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Ooh, I can't even talk. That really got me, that last comment you made about having a
because I know that you love us in spite of everything. And you're worthy. You died upon the cross so this world might not be lost. Even though you already knew that most of us would reject you.
And we're back with the Lady T Show, and this has been an awesome, awesome show with Mr. Thomas Yates and Boost Credit Scores, LLC. Now, I want to remind you, if you would like to sponsor the Lady T Show, or if you have a talent to promote, get in contact with me. My show is a platform for those who have a message, a gift, or a talent they would like to share with the community and surrounding areas. Also, if you have a business, if you're a business owner, just like Mr. Yates has done, get in contact with me if you have something that will benefit the entire community. You can catch the show in a lot of different cities: Rocky Mount, Wilson, Nashville, Oxford, Zebulon, Roanoke Rapids, Carthage, Henderson, Lewisburg, Fayetteville. So many different places you can catch the Lady T Show, so we want you to let your family and your friends know. And also, were you trying to tell me something, Lee? Okay, all right. So we want to remind you of that. And also, the next show is going to be 4th Sunday, and we're going to have a couple of Eastern North Carolina's finest cooks here on the Lady T Show. We don't want you to miss it. Learn from the past, but don't live in it. Live in the present and don't waste it. Prepare for your future and don't mess it up. That's my favorite saying, and I want to give you that contact information one more time for Boost Credit Scores.
Yes, Boost Credit Scores, LLC. 223 Sparrow, Sparrow Lane, Henderson, North Carolina, 27537, and our number is 252-572-2235 or 252-767-3500.
Okay, give them that last number one more time, Thomas.
252-767-3500, and that's my cell. Feel free to call me.
All right, so if you didn't get that, you can call the people here at the station. They'll get in contact with me. You can also email me at ladytshow@gmail.com. That's ladytshow@gmail.com. We're out of time. That's it for today. Be blessed, and we'll see you on 4th Sunday. Thank you again, Thomas.
Thank you, Lady T.